I am Brett of brett.maytom.net. In this level 100 screencast, I'll give you a quick rundown of the C# language. The objective is to explain what C# is and the standards it follows, then look into language features, versions, and enhancements. This may be useful if you are coming from a different language and looking at what C# is all about. C# gets its name from the sharp musical symbol. Unfortunately, the sharp symbol is hard to type and the hash key is used instead. Some cultures call it the pound sign or the number symbol. Basically, C# is a simple, general-purpose and modern programming language. The C# syntax is somewhat similar to C, C++, and Java. C# was written from the ground up to fully support the features provided in .NET. Later, the language was actually approved by the ECMA and ISO UEC. However, the recent versions since 2010 have not yet been approved as standards. By no means is C# a stale language, and it's constantly being updated, and as the language evolves, more programming power is given to programmers. The first version of C# was released with .NET 1.0 in 2002. And subsequently, each .NET Framework version released included improvements to the language. This includes the upcoming 4.5 framework with the new C# version 5. As I go through and mention some of these things you have not heard about, don't stress out. I'll cover them in future sessions. The first enhancements were to C# 2.0. C# added generics, anonymous methods, nullable types, and private setters. C# 3 added anonymous types, lambda expressions, object initializers, and several other useful enhancements. For me, the version 3 had the most powerful language changes that made C# versatile and powerful. Version 4 included dynamic binding, named and optional arguments, and co- and contravariants. In the upcoming 5.0, the syntax now supports asynchronous methods and some other minor improvements. There's also a move towards supporting the new Windows runtime. Microsoft C# fully supports the .NET Common Language Infrastructure, and as I mentioned, it was originally designed for .NET. It supports the common type system, garbage collection, and exception handling. Many of the .NET Framework library components have been actually written in C#. From a design perspective, C# is an object-oriented programming language and supports encapsulation, inheritance, polymorphism. The language is also component-oriented, allowing you to use components and create your own components and share components between different languages. Looking at some of the language features, as C# is an object-oriented language, there is no concept of global variables. This means that variables are always declared in a class. Boolean decisions follow a strict Boolean true and false, unlike some languages where 0 is false and any other number is true. C# does not use pointers as with C++. However, you can still write unsafe code that ignores .NET type safety and use pointers. Memory does not need to be freed, as this is managed by the garbage collector. Exceptions are wrapped in a try-catch block with a finally statement that will always run regardless of success or failure. Unlike C++, C# does not support multi-inheritance. The C# language supports operator overloading. Data is by default type safe unless explicitly declared using unsafe code. Enumerations have their own scope and not a list of constants. Properties can be exposed with coded getters and setters. The language supports type reflection, allowing discovery and inspection of metadata. There are no checked exceptions as with Java. In review, C# is a modern, object-oriented, type-safe programming language that leverages all functionality on the .NET framework. It's the language of choice of many .NET professionals.